Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm playing with my I Scraplift You, and I'm doing Jamia at She's Got a Scrap on Instagram, and this is the layout I chose to Scraplift. And I'm going to start with cutting down a piece of mixed media paper. This is 18 by 24. No, it is 18 by 12, and I'm going to cut 6 inches off to do 12 by 12. And I'm going to use this Crafters Workshop stencil that has these splotches in it. And I'm just going to mark it out so that it comes out a little bit here. My splotches are much bigger than Jamia's. I'm sorry if I say your name wrong. Splotches. So you won't see very many when I'm done with it, but that's okay. So I picked out this tealy blue color because it's kind of the color of the water in the swimming pool. And I'm doing swimming pictures, so why not? And they just look like water droplet thingies or paint splatters, or I don't know. So I do a line for the first one so that I could get them fairly central. It doesn't really matter because most of it gets covered up, but that's okay. And then I'm going to map out just by a dot where the next one's centers will go. And I did speed this up quite a bit because it's a little repetitive, but it works out okay. So speedy instead of cutting for this one. And add some more ink. And this one, and then another one. And then I'm just trying to put them in all sorts of different orientations so that the ones that are showing aren't the same in the same way, because that gets boring. At least I think that gets boring for me anyway. So just adds a little bit more interest to the page if all the splatters aren't exactly the same going in the same way, which I think probably makes sense. But and that one's a little high, but that's okay. And then I did do some messy stuff, so I'm just going to put some other splatters here or there. You don't actually see those ones either. Then I added some water, and I'm going to let that sit for a minute, but I cut the minute out and mop it up with the paper towel, and then it gives other splotches and stuff. It's not as easy to see on screen, but it's totally easy to see in person. And cut down my photos. On Jamia's, she's got two, looks like probably 3x4s, and they're overlapping. And so mine are going to get close-ish to that size, but not quite, because I didn't want to cut my kiddo out. I am going to cut part of her body off in this because she's the one that's face down, obviously. But they're not the best photos anyway. They're really blurry, actually. But they're the ones I have for swimming lessons at this time. So it is what it is. And they're going to go in her thing anyway. And it's the story and the memories. And she was really happy that I scrapbooked these ones. So I was thinking about double matting them on white and black, but the black I'm going to say nope to and just do the white. The white gives them a little bit of a pop because they feel a little dark in this part of it. So then I bought in the last couple of weeks this Recollections set, and it's got banners and tags and triangles, and look at how big this tag is. I'm so happy. I think this one will get a lot of use. I don't do a lot of tags in my scrapbooking usually, but I probably will do more now. And then I didn't take it all the way to the end because her tag is super long. I did think about overlapping it, but I knew that I wasn't going to get it all the way anyway. So I'm just going to take my trimmer and find where that line is and just cut it and finish off that cut, and which is perfect. And sorry about my head. And then I'm going to do a punch hole. And I did he and haw about trying to get it center, but it'll be good enough. And then I was looking in there for reinforcement. They actually ended up in my scrap bin, but On hers, she's got the tag rectangle piece over top of the tag hole and a reinforcer. So I'm going to do the same, even though I don't have that as the die. And I do fiddle with this a little bit to get it straight and where I want it. But there we go. And then I'm just going to snip that off and put this on. And I like that little bit of yellow here. I am going to use that yellow polka dot paper that has been on some other layouts lately too. So and then I cut myself with when I was trying to it's a paper cut, but yeah. So I was mopping it up, and usually if I sit for like a minute, it's okay and I don't continue to bleed. But you'll see in 1 second here that I make mess and I clean it up, and then it's going to get covered by the photos. And for a little bit now, I'm going to scrapbook with a wet wipe in my hand so I don't do that again. So my apologies if that little bit of blood makes you queasy and that I actually brought your attention to it, but it is what it is. So I am going to cut some of this purple off, and I am going to double mat it in layers that aren't quite on both pictures, but still overlapping those pictures. So I do fiddle with it a bit. And get this on, and then I'm going to cut around it, and yep. So I do know I want it to go behind the photo and not quite to the purple, so I'm cutting it off on like around it. So that works out pretty good. I do think I want probably one more layer, and so I bring in this tealy blue cardstock, and it's the same color as my drops on my page, so that works out okay. Just putting this where I think it'll go. It's actually going to go up a little bit further, but and then that's going to slide up. In a second. I want to see all of the. I took the trouble to do a really long tag and not just bookend it. So I want to see the really long tag. So, and Jamia's has it showing in hers too. So, and then I'm going to move this. So I'm trying out that wonderful because it is similar colors that I've got going on here, but I am going to get this tag down, and I was thinking of putting it more central, but Jamia has hers right to the edge, and I kind of like that. And even though it is going to cover up all those dots, but oh well, it is what it is. Could I have added more? Totally could have added more. Did I want to add more? Didn't want to add more. So, and then just erasing some of the pencil lines that are still visible. And now I'm going to play with some stuff. So I thought maybe a tab here. It's not going to stay there. And then I have these dollar store stickers that are puffy. And I do have some other things that I pulled out from a Hip Kit Club. So I'm going to try different parts of those. And also pull out these dollar store flowers. I thought about using some of these because of the flowers in Jamia's, and these are a little bit bigger and more to the scale. But I kind of felt like it took over the layout. So I'm going to try these ones, and I'm like, no, over top here, maybe. Not really. I did try the sunflower on my daughter's swimsuit. You can't see it, but it's a massive sunflower, and it was both the kids' favorite swimsuit for the longest time. So the sunflower although it would have worked, I didn't know what else to do with the bottom here, so that's okay. But I'm like, I still feel like it's taking over, doing something that I don't want it to do. I don't know. I just wanted it to be different. That would have been pretty, and looking at it now would have been totally fine, but I wasn't feeling it for some reason. I don't know. Tried out this title from It's a Hip Kit Club one, and meh. So, and now I'm going to try out these ones. So they are really old, and some of the stick is not there anymore. They're hard to get off the sheet to begin with because they've kind of adhered to that. So they still have a foam bit underneath, but not sticky anymore. So I'm trying out a few bits. Jamia has some on the top that overlap by the side, and then she's got some on the bottom. Mine's not going to be exactly like hers for that part of things, but that's okay. So I do like those ones. I tried the star again. I'm not feeling the star. This smile I like, and the one flower has some ready orange in it, and so I think it goes okay. I did have trouble pulling the backing off, which you saw the tail end of there. And then I'm just gonna put some foam on this one so it can overlap the smile but not be impeded by it because it's a thicker. And then these I'm just going to glue down. I moved that orange and blue and pink one up to the top so that there was a visual line there, like a diagonal. And then I do need to remember to put something in the tag hole, but not yet. So this says happy day. It doesn't, or a happy day. It doesn't stay, but it would have worked, but it doesn't stay. And then I'm going to pull out some enamel dots because I'm just not sure where I want to go with this yet. And it's not, I know it's not done and it's not making me quite happy yet. There's not enough on either end of things to be like, yep. So I'm going to put these. These are like clearish, but they give like a water droplet feel. They're not like, they're round, not droplet size, but kind of like a bubble, and it's the right color. So put those around. That word strip is not glued down yet, so thought about these sequins, but nah. Take a look for a minute, and I'm like, oh, I have these mermaid stickers. Maybe I can use some of the mermaid stickers that I haven't used yet and I've had forever. So I start with the bubbles because she's swimming and why not? And so I pair up some of the bubbles with some of the enamel dot things that I have. They're not actually enamel dots. They're more like, I don't know, crystals-ish. But so I pair some of those up with the bubbles, which is cute and I like. And then there's this mermaid. Oh, not the mermaid yet. There's this piece that says, I'm actually a mermaid. And it's got some of the right colors. There's a little bit of green in there, but it's like a bluey-ish green. So fussy cut it out on cardstock because it's a clear sticker, and anywhere I wanted to put it, I wasn't going to be able to read it. So and then I can't really read it on screen because it's really glossy, but I'm going to try and nestle it up here with the flower somewhere. I thought about maybe down here with the smile and up above the smile and then here, but the seaweed is out of place. It's not where I need it to be, so I'm just gonna cut it off. And then I thought about nestling it now under the smile up here again, but it's going to nestle underneath these two flowers. So that's a good spot for it. And I'm going to commit. Yay! So it could read, I'm actually a mermaid. Smile. So, And then some more of these pieces. So that was a starfish, different little stars going on. And then there's this mermaid. So I thought about her down here, but she's going to go up by the flowers. And she builds out that cluster a little bit more, which perfect. Move that dot by the I'm actually a mermaid. And then seeing if there's anything else on these two that I'd want to pull off. And they are the same. So I'm going to use the seahorse here. And not that one. This is another star. Just looking and seeing what else do I want to do. I'm going to move this little, I put a little fish here. I think I missed saying that. I'm going to move it up here. It just nestles with that orange a little bit better. And then move a bubble. And I like the way that's looking more. And then the mermaid has her little friend. And then I went and grabbed some fringe ribbon kind of thing. Some fabric-y thing. I thought about maybe a bowl. It's got like some nice texture to this one. And I thought about using all of it and making it go around. And then I'm like, nope, I don't need to use all of it. And then instead of cutting it into two smaller pieces, I decided to undo it, cut what I need, and then put it back on. So I have a good piece of it left to use on something else. But I really like the texture that this adds to the layout, and it kind of reminds me of coral. So I'm going to go with that, and then it brings the yellow from the other side of the page all the way across. And so I like that. And then I'm going to do a few little splatters in this blue color. And if you want me to tell you exactly the blue color, let me know, because I can look it up, but I don't know what it is right now. And then I pulled out some of the blue spritz that I have from Tim Holtz too. So I'm going to do a few little splatters with this, but the color is not really, it's not showing up. So I'm not going to waste my time. And I'm going to use this one, which I think is peacock feather. And I'm actually going to bring out my box because I have a lot of stuff on my desk right now. And then cover my photos up and then sprinkle this around, which adds a little bit of sparkle and a little bit of a darker navy blue. And I just think it just finishes it up. And then I'm going to use my heat gun to dry those, put my box away, and here are some close-ups. So I do really like the way this turned out. If you liked my video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, I would love a subscribe. I am playing with May I Scraplift You, so make sure you check out the links below. There'll be a playlist. There'll be Pineapple Papers, who coordinates and puts this on, and then obviously Jamia, who we scraplifted today. And so there's the layout all done. Thank you so much for watching today. There's some videos here that you might want to watch. Thank you. Have a great day.